do our call to worship? One, two.
Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Unity of Traverse City, and if you are here for the first time, we extend a very warm welcome on a cool fall day. And if you are here for the first time, we'll clue you in on a few activities going on, and also let you know that we have further information than what you'll see and hear today in a little booklet that would be available after the service. Let's take a few minutes here to turn our attention inward and begin this service formally, I guess, with an opening prayer. And on this cool fall day, may we choose to observe the ever-evolving planetary seasons and changes, and see the beauty in each and every one, and recognize that when we look back, we can say that each and every season has brought us some valuable time and experiences. And as we look ahead, we can see ourselves continuing the journey of evolving into our newer, greater, and more beautiful self. And for this we give thanks. Amen. Let's affirm together our statement of unity. Together, God is the courage I am. I celebrate and honor every part of my journey.
If you'd like to stand, we'll sing our next congregational song.
guess I forgot to introduce myself. But I know who I am, so I don't know why I would need to do that. Michael Robold, I'm the worship assistant today, and happy to be filling that role. And as I look out, I see some familiar faces and some new faces, and this is a good thing. And another good thing is that we have a wonderful guest speaker today who I believe was here last week. For those of you who are here, since I was up here last week, Reverend Kit Holmes will be our speaker today. And next Sunday, we're going to have Shoka, a certified Buddhist priest, and then Kit is coming back. And then we'll round out the month with former Unity Reverend here, Judy Grimes. So that's a look ahead to the month of November. If you are interested in becoming a member of this church, membership doesn't entail a great contract or a certification of your behavior or anything like that. You don't need your parents' approval. But it's a very significant choice to make, to join a church, to become a member. And because of the hesitation of some people to commit to anything, we've made it very easy. Of course, I'm not talking about anybody here. You've obviously committed to be here, so that's a start in the right direction. But those classes are going to start next Sunday, and course materials are available after the service today for anyone, again, who's interested not just in becoming a member of this church, but who wants to delve a little bit deeper into the teachings of unity and understand what this church evolved from. So it's a great course in just finding out more about unity and its belief system. So the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th, those are the dates, and the classes are right here at the church. Are they listed on the screen? Okay, so I know there's 3 different classes, but I'm not sure if I can read them. No, I don't see them listed here. 90 minutes each class. That's enough information. Then we turn to something a little bit more involved, more commitment, and that is for those who've already become a member of this church, you could run for the board. Now, having said that, if you go through this membership course, you will be eligible as a new member to run for the board, or do we have to be a member for a year? 1 year, okay. So you can vote, that's what you can do. You can vote for the new board members, and that's going to take place in February at our annual meeting. So if anyone has been thinking about being on the board, whether you've been on the board before or not, doesn't matter. Many people have served on the Unity board more than once. And if you do it more than once, obviously, you felt it was worth doing again. So it's not something that involves a significant amount of time, but again, the church depends on having a board of trustees, so hopefully some of you are giving that some thought. And today you can sign up, and you have until December 11th to make a commitment to run for the board. Another announcement is about this afternoon's activity, which is a meditation workshop. Libby Roble right here in the front seat. I happen to know her very well. She does a great job, and that workshop is going to start at 1, so that means after the service you have time to have lunch and come back, or if you're staying on the property, that's fine. There is a nice trail in the back for anyone who wants to do a little exploring, and we might even get into that with the meditation workshop, but I'm not going to give anything away because that's for those who attend. And there's a $25 fee. That's a suggested love offering. Do not let that price keep you from attending the workshop. But all the money is being donated to Unity of Traverse City in its continual fundraising for a variety of projects. And I think most of you know that we are now debt-free in terms of paying off the mortgage and the kitchen loan. So we'll be thinking of something else to put us back in debt. Compassion Choices movie, that's coming up on November 11th. That's this coming Friday, right here at the church, 7 o'clock, Called to Rescue. It's a documentary created by a local family, and it's all about how we as humans relate to and work with and work on behalf of our animal friends and the creatures that are, for many of us, close to our heart. And Naomi Call, who is the local person who's in charge of this, will be available for questions and answers following the film. And that is at no fee, so you're all invited to attend. Did I give the time? 7 o'clock Friday? And then today is Script Sunday. And Script Sunday is that opportunity that we all have to put our money into something that costs us nothing. Now, how can that be? Well, you're putting your money into a service, a product, that you get a card for a variety. In fact, it's quite a variety of local businesses. So if you have a car and you put gas in the car, you're spending money on that gas. You could buy a card from one of the gas company or gas station businesses. If you go to stores like Meijer, and I haven't even looked at the list of all the stores, but there are plenty of stores as well as some online. So when you do your shopping, Unity benefits when you buy these cards. And of course, we all know what's coming up here regarding the holidays. Gives you an opportunity to think ahead as to what you might be buying for people in your life, as well as perhaps, again, taking care of any personal items that you use daily or weekly. I think that takes care of the announcements. So now I think we should have another song.
You can remain seated for this song.
Make it
now we take a few minutes to spend in quiet, to spend, as we like to say, within. And this time of meditation, for some, is just a little too short. But any time spent in stillness and quiet is certainly of value. So as you sit comfortably in your chair, you let go of anything that you're physically holding on to, but maybe even more importantly, let go of anything that you're attached to mentally and emotionally. This letting go is about releasing, but it's not about necessarily a permanent releasing. It's all about setting aside any worries, any fears, anything that could be troubling you. It could be a health situation, a relationship. It could be dealing with the upcoming weather or the election. You know, this is a very interesting word. Electricity. You know, the founder, Charles Fillmore, said, "I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm." And if we could think of each and every day to elect, to choose, to, in essence, be electrified by the possibilities that exist within ourselves and within the world that we live in. So let's take just a few minutes to see what comes up, to allow that light within us to shine brightly and to clear the path forward. Blessings on you as you take the next step on your path to go forward with enthusiasm and with the knowledge that you are never alone. And if this time of stillness is of intrigue and you want to delve further, you're invited to that workshop this afternoon. Namaste.
Every life, every day is a hero's journey. Every life, every day is a hero's journey. Listen to the song. Can you hear the message? Listen to the sound beckoning to you, safe passage. Every life, every day is a hero's journey. Every life, every day is a hero's journey. Listen to the song. Can you hear the message? Listen to the song beckoning to you, safe passage. Run up the walls in front of you. Watch them disappear and know that there is something greater here. Walk through the fire that's ahead of you. Look directly into fear and trust the voice that's whispering in your ear. Every life, every day, it's a hero's journey. Every life, every day is a hero's journey. Listen to the song. Can you hear the message? Listen to the song beckoning to you, safe passage. Charge up the mountain looming over you. Feel it crumble away and revel in the sun that lights your way. Jump into love with all your might. Feel that air burning bright and let it get you through the darkest night. Charge up the mountain looming over you. Feel it crumble away and revel in the sun that lights your way. Jump into love with all your might. Feel love burning bright and let it get you through your darkest night. Every life, every day is a hero's journey. Every life, every day is a hero's journey. Listen to the song. Can you hear the message? Listen to the song beckoning to you, safe passage. Every life, every day is a hero's journey. Every life, every day is a hero's journey. Listen to the song. Can you hear the message? Listen to the song beckoning to you, safe passage. Every life, every day is a hero's journey. 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 Listen to the sound. Can you hear the message? Listen to the sound.
And once again, Reverend Kit Holmes.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol and the band. Thank you for always picking great songs, Carol. She gets the topic we don't ever discuss, and I just like how Spirit works that way. Good morning. My name is Reverend Kit Holmes. It's good to see all of you who I see often, and those of you who are here for the first time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are talking about the hero's journey today. I just want to swing back a little bit to last week where I introduced you to the concept of the fear to faith practice. And I won't go into it again. It's just a quick reminder of it's just a meditative process. There's some questions that get asked that take us to the deep feeling state behind something when there's a problem in our lives. And we don't know what to do with it, and we get ourselves tangled, and we start feeling these certain emotions and so forth, and we go into autopilot in our reactive ways. How do we deal with this when we face this? The fear to faith process brings us a new way of looking at it so we don't keep going into the spin cycle of fear, and instead turn consciously to our conscious affirmations that bring us out. Very effective prayer, the releasing prayers that take care of that. Somewhere in the future, I think it'd be kind of cool, maybe if I could teach that class or something. Okay. I know there's prosperity coming up at the beginning of the year, but it keeps coming around again because it's a powerful process, the fear to faith. So this is part 2. Last week was the fear to faith, and this week about home, last week was, I don't remember what I did last week. Part 1. Anyway, part 2 is the hero's journey. Forgive my brain, forgive my chemo brain. I'm still coming out of it. Sometimes I'm in the middle of it and just goes right off. So, thank you for being patient and kind to me. So about the hero's journey. It is the core of just about every movie, every book, everything that we've ever seen on television. Of the protagonist finds this cycle of discontent and just boredom, and life is boring, and I need adventure. So you're familiar with Joseph Campbell, who coined the concept of the hero's journey. There's actually kind of 12 individual steps to the process that breaks down into 3 phases. I'm not going to go through all 12 of them, but I'm going to give you the short synopsis of that and how and where we are looking at today, where we are in our own hero's journey. So, the protagonist, I'm going to use the example of Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. There's a whole series. There are so many metaphors in The Wizard of Oz. You're all familiar with the story. You're familiar with the movie, the storyline, all of it. There are metaphors on top of layered metaphors of meaning in The Wizard of Oz, which I'm still, all these years later, still pulling out. So Dorothy, in her little farm in Kansas, is bored. She's seeking adventure. Nothing's going on at the farm. There's a big world out there. If bluebirds fly, why can't I? So she goes on a little adventure with her little dog Toto. And she comes across the man in the wagon, the prognosticator, the fortune teller, if you'd like to see it from another perspective, a snake oil salesman, a grifter, just looking to make a living, traveling around the countryside. And he, sees, oh yeah, there's a future for you. There's worlds. You're going to see the world. There's all kinds of lands you're going to see and all these kinds of things. She's like, wow, cool. And basically, she's pretty young, just needs to go home and kind of, get out of his hair a little bit. Of course, on the way home, she encounters the whole thing with the tornado, and lo and behold, gets bonked on the head and goes into the new world. So the metaphor about the hero's journey is that place. We are feeling discontented. We have some longing. Life's kind of boring. I want something else. Oh, but I don't really want to change. But I want it this way, but I don't really want to do the work to change. Something comes along to upset the apple cart. And it's either the cosmic 2x4 or it is some other kind of awakening that says, oops, too late. There you go. You're on your journey. We get a call. We feel that call. That is the divine urge that is in us all the time to grow, to evolve, to be more of the God in us in expression, in human form. We get that call, and we know it. We know there's this little kernel of truth that says, yep, this is where you're supposed to go. This is what you're supposed to do. And we go, ooh, not me. Pick somebody else, not me. And the idea here is that we can fight this thing all of our lives, and many of us do. And you know, you've heard me talk about this before. I have said no. Nope, I'm not doing it. On more than one occasion. And I also know that saying no to that divine urge isn't really the most healthy thing you can do with your life. It'll throw you into a lot of pain, more discontent, more dishevelment, poverty, health issues, relationship issues, job issues, you name it. We can get a calling and we can really ignore it because we have lots of influences, people around us telling us what they think our calling is, right? And we want to be loved, and we want to be approved of, and we want to be held, and we want to be safe at home, and we don't want to upset the apple cart, so we follow it. How many times have we heard, well, everybody in my family was a doctor, everybody in my family was a lawyer, but I wanted to be an artist. Or I wanted to work environmental stuff. I wanted to do something with my hands. And we hear story after story, the hero's journey. Lots of Hallmark movies this way too. You know, the plot's always the same, and usually the actors and actresses are the same too. And you know why it is? Because it works for us. We know what's going to happen in the story, and we love knowing what's going to happen, do we not? That's why those things are so, they're cheesy and it's like you know exactly what's going to happen and who's going to fall in love with who and who's going to come home for the holidays and it's going to snow and it's going to be beautiful and everything's going to work out in the end. Wouldn't life be awesome if that were the case? And I'm here to tell you, no. I think you all know that too. There wouldn't be any point for us to be here. If we knew how it was all working out, what would be the point? If we knew every detail along the way, that's not why we're here. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, he said, in a much longer paragraph, but the end of it says, we are left alone to discover it for ourselves. That's where we get around to in the story of Dorothy, in the story of Luke Skywalker, in Harry Potter. We are set upon the journey, we are set upon the road, and we are left to figure it out for ourselves. The hero's journey, of course, the departure, we go, okay, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to give it a shot. And as soon as we move in the direction of that call, somebody shows up as a mentor. Somebody shows up as a teacher. Something or someone is right there to say, this is the way you go. That person or that thing will not come with us on the journey. They can't. They cannot. If you think about Yoda, Yoda doesn't go with Luke. He just says, I'm going to teach you about the Force. I'm going to be your mentor. I'm going to be your guide, but you got to do the work. There's another gentleman that we know about that we sang about this morning. that said, here's the way. You got to do the work. Follow me. I will teach you. I will not do it for you. I will teach you the way, but you got to do the work. Every mentor that we get, every good mentor that we get, every good teacher knows that. Knows to, even though you can go to, and I've done this, I've gone to mentors in my early days of spiritual practice, basically saying, tell me what my life is supposed to look like. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. And the good ones will say, I can't, because I don't know what your path is. I know what mine is. Mine is to stand here and guide you with what I know, but it's not my job to go with you. I'll go with you in spirit, but you got to go do all the trials and tribulations and the tests and all the things that test our mettle. Are we really up for it? Back to the story of Dorothy, of course. She gets bonked on the head. She wakes up in this Technicolor land. Everything, nothing is familiar. Everything is turned upside down. She discovers that after she's met a few of the townsfolk, that her house landed on the evil Wicked Witch of the East and killed her. Wicked Witch of the West, her sister, says, you killed my sister. Hey, what's going on? One of the first guides that Dorothy gets is Glinda the Good Witch, who says, here's this thing. Oh, the ruby slippers, put them on your feet, you'll be protected for your entire journey. The metaphor there, something outside of us we believe in. We believe in the ruby slippers. We believe in something. We believe in something outside of ourselves that says we are protected, we are guided. So Dorothy goes down the path along the way, believing that no matter what happens, she's got the ruby slippers on. Nothing can hurt her. The belief in that item, shoes for the journey, fancy footwear, is protecting her. But we know that's not it. Along her journey, she meets more allies. She meets the Scarecrow, she meets the Tin Man, she meets the Lion. The metaphor is right there, head, heart, and courage. The three things that we incorporate, what we must incorporate in our spiritual work, in our growth and evolution of being more of the God in us. We have to have a balance of head and heart and the courage to bring all of it forward. And the wisdom that comes behind that, which is why they go to Oz. He's supposed to be the wisest of the wise, to tell them how to do their lives. They don't believe what they already have. You know the rest of the story. They get to Oz. Trials and tribulations. The Witch of the West is throwing all kinds of things in Dorothy and their way all along the way. And all along the way, something else comes forward to help them move through. They still take on the tasks. They still do the work. They finally make it to Oz. They finally get there. One more great task. Go get the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West. More trials and tribulations, more figuring out how it's going to do. And all along the way, at different points, there has been, we don't have what it takes. Maybe we should turn back. But we know in the hero's journey, there's no going back. As much as you might want to, as much as you want to get back home, it's not going to be the same when you get there. You're not going to be the same when you get there. That's the whole idea here. So what happens through all of that? They do the whole trials and tribulations. In saving her friend, the Scarecrow, from burning up in one of the final scenes, Dorothy throws water to save her friend and ends up destroying the Wicked Witch of the West. They go back, take the broomstick to Oz. Turns out he's a fraud. Turns out, here they are. The whole land of Oz has believed in a being who floated in on a balloon, and they made him a god. And they have spent their existence not seeing him, not hearing from him. And this guy just stood back behind the curtain and went, well, that's a pretty good gig. He's not wise. He's not kind. He's not any of those things. And yet he was elevated to a place where all these people and these beings said, here's this thing. This is God. Instead of looking inside and saying, oh, this is where I find it. There are parts along the way in our journey, more metaphor here, and especially if we think about, if you're familiar with the story of Harry Potter. And the same thing with Luke Skywalker. And there's always a shadow side to the protagonist. Harry Potter, as an infant, and his parents getting killed by the one who shall not be named, but I'm going to name him, Voldemort, leaves a piece of himself in Harry. So the darkness, a piece of the darkness lives in Harry. The same thing with Luke Skywalker. After the first few movies, we learn, Luke, I am your father. And the Dark Lord, the shadow side, is living in Luke as well. We all, as you know, have a shadow side. The hero's journey is not about obliterating the shadow side. The hero's journey is about recognizing that the shadow side actually has a lot to offer in our strengths and the way we go about our lives. It's the paradox of spiritual law. Spiritual law in and of itself is neutral. There is not good and evil. It is law, and law does what we give it. In our thoughts, in our beliefs, in the feeling and the emotion and the energy we put behind it. Misuse of the law, metaphysical malpractice, if you will, is using the law in the direction of self-serving, power over. Think of Darth Vader, power over. Think of Voldemort, power over. Where our protagonists are about cooperation, collaboration, peace, helping each other find each other's way. That's just two ends of using the same law. It's going to work in either direction. One is much more destructive, of course. But we also know that love is always the greater power. And it's really interesting that love seems to be the hardest thing for us to get to. That is where the work really has to happen, does it not? Is moving from fear to faith. Moving from the fear that says, if I open up my heart, I'm going to get hurt. We've all been there. We have all been there, and we are still here. We find a way to work through it. We still find a way to gather in community, to support one another, to lift each other up, to find the fun, the joy, the beauty, the peace, power, all those qualities of God. Light, life, love, peace, power, beauty, joy. We still find a way to do it. And even when we're in those moments, kind of as we are leading up to Tuesday, man, misuse of the law. And it seems like it could kill us. It seems like it will be the end of us, not just in this state or this country, but the planet as a whole. And yet the truth is, love is still the greater power. And it is incumbent upon us as the hero of our own journeys, the hero of our own lives, to do the work to stay in the vibration of love. That means, as Ernest Holmes talks about, turning entirely away from the condition. Stop focusing on the problem. Because That's use of the law. The more we focus on the problem, we get more problem to focus on. Moving in the other direction, in the direction of love. Focusing on that. Focusing on the idea, as hard as it is, to know that those we do not necessarily agree with also have the same potential to be bright, vibrant, loving lights in the world. Fear is what drives power over. The fear comes out of that initial split that somewhere along the line said, we are not one with God. You hear me talk about this all the time. Why? Because that is the core of this teaching. That is the basis of this teaching, is our remembering and helping each other remember. That is the return of the cycle of the hero's journey. When we have been through our trials and our tribulations and we have come out, we have taken the sword out of the stone. It's ours to take out of the stone. We are changed. We go home different. But we become the masters. We become the mentors. We become the guides. We become the people that show those who haven't quite gotten on the path yet, that they too have the same potential to get through those dark nights of the soul. It is incumbent upon us. That's how we raise the consciousness, to remind each other we are here to be love. We are worthy of love because God is in us. How can we not be worthy? How can we not be worthy of being loved and supplied and supported and all of the things, all of the good in the world, when we remember that we are the expressions of God in human form? So many metaphors. But you get this. I know you get this. You'll see it everywhere. You see it in every story. It is our story. My question to you this week is, where are you in the journey? Many of you, you know that the journey is not a one and done, right? You're aware of that. Okay. It is a continuous upward cycle. Those places in our lives where we go, man, I thought I dealt with this already. I thought I healed this. I thought I went through a dark night of the soul about this particular thing. Oh God, and here I am again. It's a spiral. It's a spiral. We keep moving up. My own hero's journey, I've shared some of it with you. I left a very comfortable, very familiar community for a calling. Many callings throughout my life, but the most recent was 18 months ago, in a community I had been in for 20 years. Spiritual community, as an associate spiritual leader, as the music director. I was involved with that spiritual community for more than 12 years, and other ones in the area for more than that. It was comfortable. I was loved. It was safe. I was home. And that divine urge said, move on. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. And I also have known enough that I have said no or ignored the call enough times in my life and seen the results of saying no that I knew better. Because on my hero's journey, I have learned to trust the call. I have learned to trust the call. I don't get all of the dots. I don't get all of the steps laid out in front of me. We get the next one. We take that step, we get the next one. And I listened, and I moved here, not knowing what I would be going through the last 18 months. 8 months into saying yes to that journey, I did not see that coming, that I was going to get a diagnosis of cancer. Didn't see it. Wasn't supposed to. Because what it has brought me, just everything in the last 18 months, has brought me this solid place of getting really clear what my calling is. I want to briefly bring that right here, because something came to me in this last week, being here last Sunday and knowing I was going to be here. In fact, it came to me on the drive home to Manistee last Sunday. That individually, there have been many of you over the last, it's been 18 months or so since I came back here as a guest musician and a guest speaker. Why won't you be our senior minister? I've had private conversations with several of you, because my call, my guidance is not that. What I recognized in those private conversations is that I haven't brought it fully and wholly to you as a community. And here's what I know. I'm one of your allies. I'm one of your mentors. I'm one of your guides. But I can't go on this journey with you. It's not mine to do. I'm real clear. I will continue to visit you. I will continue to speak as I'm asked to and as I can, while honoring my journey. I will continue to be here as a guest musician. And I will be any and all kind of support that I can to you in the best way that I can. Again, honoring my own journey. I see your nodding heads, and I thank you so very much, because the timing of when Reverend Eileen left, I had just moved back to Michigan. I think a month. The timing was perfect for me because I was letting go and healing. And I've been letting go and healing and continuing to heal, not only physically, but spiritually, mentally, emotionally, all of those things of what has come across my path, all of my trials and tribulations and dark nights of the soul. So I will be here, but I wanted to make sure that you knew that energetically, I'm holding space with you for the right and perfect minister for this community. And I needed to tell you that publicly, because I'm like, little here, and there. It's like, no, you got to tell them, kid. So that's what I'm doing today with as much gratitude as I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am that I've met you and that I've gotten to spend time with you, and I will continue to spend time with you. And the shift is to open the space to allow that right and perfect minister that will elevate this community as it needs to be, as it wants to be, as it wants to express as a community in the greater community and in the world. So thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. And like I said, I'm right here with you. I just can't do it for you or with you. I love you all dearly. Namaste. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kit. And we're here for you, too. Well, this is the time that we have that opportunity to make the choice of what we might want to contribute to this continual journey of unity of Traverse City. I mentioned last week that sometimes our financial situation is such that we feel like there's not a lot we have to contribute. But as those of you who have been here, and for those of you who are new here, there's always the opportunity to volunteer your talents and your time. And when the winds come, as they did last night, lots of branches are lying on the ground, whether they're on the driveway, the parking lot, in the road. Another opportunity to step in and do a little cleaning. So we have that opportunity right now, and if you're holding something in your hand, whether it's money or just your own sense of your talents and what you will be willing to share, let's take a look at blessing this and so much more yet to come. It's on the screen together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. And so it is. Amen.
So this one's kind of a swing and a miss, topically. But Kit mentioned this song last week, so we thought we'd give it a shot, and hope you enjoy it anyway, even though it's kind of out of the blue. One, two, three, go. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Every time money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me.
Well, again, thank you all for coming today. Remember, after our service, we do have refreshments and fellowship at the other end of the church. For those of you who are interested, again, in becoming a member of Unity, we do have some people here who might have some questions. We've got people that can provide you with the answers. Same with the board applications. If you're interested in serving on the board, who would be the person to talk to in that regard? Scylla Payne, okay. Paul. Bob. And then the workshop that follows lunch today at 1 will be right here. And at this time, also, we would like to gather in a circle. So as I mentioned, if you're new here and you want further information, our ushers do have packets to give you. We also have prayer chaplains who will be here and there. By that I mean one in this room and one out in the foyer for those of you who would seek some private listening and assisting in whatever issues you might be dealing with. Want to give thanks to that great fellow in the sound room today, AJ. And the fellows and gals in the band, another great job. And of course, we do have people who have helped out in the back to provide the refreshments. And do you ever have the situation where you're looking through some stuff that you've set aside for a while and you pick something up and, wow, what's this? Well, this is a little prayer. So we often give thought to someone else in our life. Could be a number of people, it could be a situation that we would like to really hold in our hearts, but also put it out into the world where the greater good will provide. So if you know someone in need, if you would like to mention their name, their cause, their community, what have you, this would be the good time to just voice that opinion or that person silently or out loud. And as we know that when two or more are gathered, it's an amazing and powerful form of energy that provides solutions and the right outcomes. I'd like to read this little blessing, and then we'll follow it with the prayer of protection and the peace song. Blessings on you as you take the next step on your path. May beauty and strength walk with you. May the winds and rains anoint you. May you experience all creation as friendship, and may gratitude be your constant companion in the dance of life. And so that peace, or that prayer of protection, together. Light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.